pattern because we do a large cast on. I find the bamboo needles hold the stitches a little bit tighter. They don't slide around as much as they do on metal, so I'm using bamboo. And then we're going to be using lily, sugar, and cream cotton yarn in dark pine. And then just a teeny tiny little bit of red. This can be any kind of red you want. This is Lion Brand 24/7 cotton in red. So let's jump in and get started. This is more of an intermediate pattern. It is very quick and easy. It's something you can whip up really quick. It's not going to take you a very long time. If you are newer to knitting and you want to tag along, I'll tutorial how to do everything, and it's really not super hard, but there is a little bit of lace in here, so we're going to be doing a little bit of lace work today. So let's jump in and get started. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do is cast on. We need to cast on 84 stitches. I'm using 5 needles, so it's going to end up being 21 stitches per needle. I'm going to do a long tail cast on method today. I don't do a slip knot for my long tail cast ons. I just wrap the yarn around the needle. Then you're going to catch the yarn. This is my long tail over my pointer finger, and this is my shorter tail over my thumb. And I did about an arm's length, full arm span, so both arms, arm spans length worth of yarn for this cast on. So for our long tail cast on, we're going to go under, over, under, catch the loop, and pull it tight. Under, over, under, and pull it tight. And we're going to do 21 of these. If you don't like doing a long tail cast on, if it's too complicated, you are welcome to do a knit cast on as well. I will link to that tutorial video, and that will turn out just fine for this pattern too. When I cast on for working in the round, I always add 2 stitches. So even though we're going for 21 stitches on this needle, I'm actually going to cast on 23 stitches. Okay, these are my last 2, 21, 22, and this is 23. So now what I do is I take my next needle and I pass my first 2 stitches onto the next needle. And then we're ready. That'll keep the edge here nice and tight for you. And then we're ready to keep casting on this needle. So same thing, we're going to go 23 stitches on this needle. And 23. And then same as last time, this is our 3rd needle now. We're going to take the 2 stitches on the end and slip them onto our 3rd needle. And then we'll keep going. 23 more stitches on this needle. (21), 22, 23, and then last needle. Two stitches, and then this one's only going to get 21 because it's our last needle and there's nothing to pass on after this one, so just 21 stitches. All right, we should now have 21 stitches per needle for a total of 84 stitches all the way around. And now we're going to join our work for working in the round. So you want to lay it out like this. Take a quick look, make sure you don't have any twists on your cast on edge here. This looks good. And then you want the edge with the tails is going to go on the right side, the edge without the tails is going to go on the left side. And this is the needle that's going to go in your left hand. So you can just kind of support this here. Our first row, super easy. All we're going to do is knit. And leave your short tail here. We're going to go for the long tail. So we're going to go for a knit stitch. I always like to get this first stitch nice and snug because that will help your ends to not pull apart here. So we're just going to knit all the way across this row. And this is my last stitch on this first needle. So when you get to the end of your first needle, we're just going to turn. So this is going to be your new left-hand needle. And we'll just keep working straight across. So go ahead and keep knitting until you get all the way to the end of this round. Okay, we are now back at the beginning of the round. You can tell we're back at the beginning of the round because we got back to our tail here. So this is kind of like my stitch marker for the beginning and end of every round. If you're getting a little loose here, if this is starting to pull out, just take your tail and give a little bit of a pull. But after this round, it's going to tighten up, so it won't be a big deal. Okay, now this next round, still pretty easy. We're going to go knit one, purl one for 7 stitches. So knit one, purl one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we do it again. So keep your yarn in the back. You're going to do another knit stitch. So knit, purl. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, because we cast on 21 stitches, we have a multiple of 7. So this pattern is worked across a multiple of 7 stitches. Because we have 21 stitches per needle, super easy. We have a multiple of 7 stitches per needle. So you're going to work your pattern. The repeat will end at the end of every needle. So you'll always be able to tell if you missed a stitch or if you're on your pattern, which is really easy. So go ahead and do this to the end of the round. And then we'll come back and look at round number 3. Okay, now we're ready for round 3. This is the trickiest row of the whole pattern. So if you can get through this round from here on, it's smooth sailing, and it's not that hard. We'll go through it. So the first thing we're going to do is a knit 2 together stitch. So your needle is going to go through the first 2 stitches on the left-hand needle and then knit like normal. Then we're going to do a yarn over, so bring your yarn around the needle. Then we're going to slip 4 stitches. So you're going to slip the stitches as if you were going to knit, but you're not going to knit them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to knit the 5th stitch. So your yarn is back here, bring it around, knit this stitch. And then we're going to pass these 4 slip stitches over the stitch that you just knit. So we're going to pass 1, pass 2, pass 3, and pass 4. That's it. Now we're going to do it again. So knit 2 together. Yarn over. Slip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knit the 5th stitch. And then pass 4 stitches over the knit stitch. 1, 2, 3. You notice I'm managing my tension here with these fingers to keep this stitch from slipping off the edge. So that'll help you. If you can hold this while you're doing your passover stitches, that'll help that not to get pulled off the edge of the needle. Okay, do it again. Knit 2 together. Yarn over. Pass 1, 2, 3, 4. Knit 1. And pass over 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the end of your first row, your first needle. So you'll notice we've gone from having 21 stitches on the needle to only having 9 stitches. So that's how you'll know if you did the pattern correctly. So go ahead, do the same all the way to the end of the round, and then we'll meet back here for round 4. All right, we just finished round 3. Round 4 is super simple. All we're going to do is knit all the way around. Okay, round 5, we're going to go knit 2 together and then knit 1. This is going to bring you down to 6 stitches on every needle, so you'll have 24 stitches all the way around at the end of the round. Okay, round 6, we're just going to knit all the way around again. Okay, now we are ready to bind off, and we are just going to do a classic bind off knitwise. You're going to knit your first 2 stitches, and then you're going to take the second stitch, and you're going to pass it over the first stitch. And we're just going to keep doing this all the way around. So knit 1, pass the first one over the second. And then you'll set your, as you work this, you'll just set your needles off to the side because you're going to work yourself out of your needles here. Last 2 stitches here. And then this is what I do. When you get to your very last stitch here, I don't like to cut my yarn first thing because I like to look at my project and make sure it looks the way that I want it to, just in case I need to go back and fix something, which I've had to do before. So I take the whole ball of yarn, I bring the whole ball of yarn through the loop, and then you can pull this tight so it makes a little knot here. Because every once in a while I'll have to go back and fix something, but this should, for today, this should be pretty good. We're almost done. How cute is this? Okay, now from here we're ready to cut our tail. We don't need it to be super long, probably about there should be more than long enough. And then we're going to weave our ends in. We'll start with this one. This was my cast off tail. To get a yarn needle. And the first thing I like to do, you see you have a little bit of a gap here, so we can clean this up and make it a little bit prettier. So if you just pull this tail along for a couple of stitches here, this will kind of tighten it up and weave that end in so that you have a cleaner finish, which I like. Maybe 3 is about good. And then from here, this piece does have a right side and a wrong side. So this is the right side, this is the wrong side. We're going to weave our tail in on the wrong side. So go ahead and just poke this through. We'll get it to the back. And then to weave our end in, yeah, that looks really nice. We're going to use our rule of 3s. So we're going to go 3, weave through 3 stitches in 3 different directions. So 1, 1, 2, 3. That's number 2. And 1, 2, 3. That's number 3. And then from there, we can be pretty sure this end isn't going to pull out. So we can just go ahead and trim this here. We're going to do the same thing with our cast on tail here. This one doesn't need any cleanup. This looks really nice. We're just going to pull this through to the back side. And same thing, we'll go 3 stitches in 3 different directions. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I don't want my edge poking out right on the edge here. So I'm just going to come up 1 more stitch so it's kind of tucked away in the middle. That way if it's poking out a little bit, it's going to be on the bottom so you won't be able to see it. And we can trim this here. And then the only thing we have left to do is our bow. So I got myself a strip of yarn. It's maybe 12 inches or so. You just need it to be long enough to go all the way around. And then we're going to tie a little bow with it at the bottom. So I did, you can see on this one, I did my red ribbon right below the little eyelets that we have here. So we're just gonna go kind of every other stitch all the way around here. And then our bow's gonna go at the bottom here. Probably wanna leave a tail at least that long so that I have enough ribbon to tie a bow with. Okay, and now we're back to the beginning here. We're gonna tie a little bow. Okay, leave your bow ears here a little longer than you're gonna want them. I recommend doing a double knot just so they don't pull out. That'll keep them nice and snug. There we go. And then as soon as you kind of have them how you want them, you can take your scissors and trim the ends. And there you have it. That's your cute little Christmas coaster. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're looking for a beginner coaster pattern, I have that too. I have it pulling up right here. And come back. I have some more Christmas videos in the works, so I will see you again soon.